We were talking about consignment account, and this class we will study the journal entries in the books of consignor and consignee. Now before studying the journal entries, we must know the various methods of pricing of goods sent on consignment. That is, there are mainly two important methods of pricing in case of consignment. That is, when the goods are being sent by the consignor to the consignee, there are two important methods of pricing, and the methods are cost price and invoice price. That is, when the goods are sent by the consignor to the consignee, it can be valued either at cost price or invoice price. And there will be certain difference in journal entries when we are using the cost price method or we are using the invoice price method. So first of all, we will discuss the cost price method. Okay, so there are mainly two important methods of pricing the goods sent on consignment, and they are cost price and invoice price. Now when we are using either the cost price or invoice price, there will be slight changes in the journal entries in the books of both consignor and consignee. Okay, so first of all we must see, or we have to see, the cost price method. Okay, so if the goods are sent to the consignee at cost price, then the goods sent will be recorded in the books of the consignor at their cost price. That is, if we are using the cost price method, then the goods sent will be recorded in the books of the consignor at their cost price. In this case, the consignee knows the profit earned by the consignor out of the consignment business. So, as the goods are being priced at cost, it will be easy for the consignee to know the profit earned by the consignor. So, if we are using the cost price method, then the goods will be priced at cost, or the goods will be valued at cost price. And in case the cost price method is used, then it is easy for the consignee to know the profit earned by the consignor on consignment. Okay, so we can move on to the journal entries. Now, journal entries in the books of consignor and journal entries in the books of consignee. Okay, so the first column shows the books of consignor and the second one shows the books of consignee. And you know the various transactions. First transaction will be when the goods are sent by the consignor to the consignee, then there will be certain expenses met by the consignor. Then sometimes an advance may be sent by the consignee to the consignor. Then again there will be certain expenses met by the consignee. Then the consignee will be effecting the sales. Then on the sales, the consignee will have to receive a commission, and finally the consignee will have to make the final settlement. So these are the usual transactions that might come in case of consignment, and there will be journal entries for all these transactions in the books of consignor and in the books of consignee. Okay, so first journal entry for sending goods to the consignee. That is, when the goods are being sent by the consignor to the consignee, the journal entry in the books of the consignor is consignment account debtor to goods sent on consignment. Okay, so the first journal entry when the goods are being sent by the consignor to the consignee is consignment account debtor to goods sent on consignment. Then in the books of consignee, for receiving the goods from consignor, no journal entry is required. That is, when the goods are received by the consignee from the consignor, no journal entry is required in the books of the consignee. Then the second transaction is for payment of expenses by the consignor. Then the journal is consignment account debtor to cash or bank. That is, in case we are issuing check, then it will be bank, and in case the expense is met by cash, that will be cash. Okay, so consignment account debtor to cash or bank. Now here, for payment of expenses by the consignor also, no journal entry is required in the books of the consignee, because here the expense is met by the consignor, and consignor is the owner of the goods. Okay, so for payment of expense by the consignor also, no journal entry is required in the books of the consignee. Then for receiving advance from consignee, then the journal is cash or bank or bills receivable account debtor to consignee. So this is the various forms of receiving the amount. It can be in the form of cash, it can be in the form of draft, it can be in the form of bills receivable. So, depending upon the case, it can be cash account debtor or bank account debtor or bills receivable account debtor to consignee, because consignee is the giver. Now, when the advance is given to the consigner, then the journal entry is required in the books of the consignee because he is making payment of cash, check or bill. Then the journal will be consignor's account debtor to cash or bank or bills payable. Okay, so 3 journal entries. One for sending goods to the consignee, consignment account debtor to goods sent on consignment. Here no entry is required. Then for payment of expenses by the consigner, consignment account debtor to cash or bank. Then in this case also in the books of consignee, no journal entry will be required. Then for receiving advance from the consignee, the journal is cash or bank or bills receivable account debtor to consignee. And in the books of consignee, consignor's account debtor to cash, bank or bills payable. Then next is for expenses incurred by the consignee. Okay, in the books of consignor, the journal is consignment account debtor to consignee. So, for expenses incurred by the consignee, the journal entry in the books of the consignor is consignment account debtor to consignee. That is, until the expense met by the consignee is being reimbursed by the consignor, until that time the consignee is the creditor of consignor. So that is why the consignee's account is being credited. Okay, so consignment account debtor to consignee. Then in the books of the consignee, for payment of expense by the consignee, the journal entry is consignor's account debtor to cash or bank. This is because the consignor becomes the debtor of the consignee until the amount is repaid by him. Okay, so until that time, the consignor is the debtor of consignee and the amount will be reimbursed by the consignor. So the journal entry is consignor account debtor to cash or bank. Then for sale being made by the consignee, then the journal will be consignee's account debtor to consignment. So here, until the sale proceed is being given or sent by the consignee to the consignor, that time the consignee is the debtor of consignor. So until that time. Okay. So here the journal entry becomes consignee's account debtor, because consignee is the debtor. So consignee's account debtor to consignment. Then for sale of goods in the books of consignee, cash or bank or debtor's account debtor to consignor, because until that time the consignor is the creditor. So until the payment is or the sale proceeds are being sent by the consignee to the consignor is the creditor of consignee. So in case there is cash sales, then the journal can be cash or bank account debtor to consignor. And in case the consignee is making a credit sale, then the journal becomes debtor's account debtor to consignor. Okay. Now for the commission of the consignee, the journal is consignment account debtor to consignee. Okay. The very same journal entry for expenses. Here for expense met by the consignee also, consignment account debtor to consignee, because this is the amount due to the consignee. Okay. So just like that for commission also, consignment account debtor to consignee. Okay. Then books of the consignee, consignor's account debtor to commission. So commission is the income to be received. The commission is the amount to be paid by the. So commission is the amount to be paid by the consignor to the consignee. So the journal in the books of consignee is consignor account debtor to commission. Okay. Now the next entry for receiving the balance due from the consignee. The journal is cash or bank or bills receivable account debtor to consignee. That is the very same journal entry when the advance is being received. So the same entry when advance is received by the consignor from the consignee, that is cash or bank or bills receivable account debtor to consignee. In the books of consignee also the same entry, that is consignor's account debtor to cash, bank or bills payable, or it can be bills payable also. Okay. Now next entry is for profit on consignment. So the remaining entries will appear only in the books of the consignor, because the profit or loss, whatever be the case, it is a matter concerned with consignor only. because consignor is a real owner of goods. Okay, so when the payment or the final settlement is being made by the consignee, then the relationship between the consignor and consignee comes to an end. So all the remaining entries will appear only in the books of the consignor. So for profit on consignment, the journal entry is consignment account added to profit and loss account, and in case it is loss, then the reverse entry will be passed. That is profit and loss account added to consignment. Then finally, for closing goods sent on consignment, that is goods sent on consignment will be closed by transferring to trading account. So the entry will be goods sent on consignment account added to trading account. Now, when the goods are being sent, the journal entry was consignment account added to goods sent on consignment. So for the purpose of closing the goods sent on consignment, the journal is goods sent on consignment account added to trading account. So these are the journal entries in the books of consignor and consignee. That is, the journal entry is for, the entry is for sending the goods to the consignee, then payment of expense by the consignor, then for receiving advance from the consignee, then expenses incurred by the consignee, sales made by the consignee, commission due to the consignee, then receiving the balance due from the consignee, then profit or loss on consignment, and also for closing the goods sent on consignment. So these are the journal entries in the books of consignor and consignee. Now we will move on to the ledger accounts. Okay, now the ledger accounts are, in the books of the consignor, usually 3 ledger accounts are prepared. One is the consignment account for the purpose of knowing the profit or loss on consignment. Then the second is the consignee's account for the purpose of knowing the final amount to be received or the remaining amount to be received from the consignee. Then the third account is goods sent on consignment, that is for the purpose of closing the goods sent on consignment. So in the books of the consignor, there are 3 accounts maintained. One is consignment account for the purpose of knowing the profit or loss on consignment. The other one is consignee's account for the purpose of knowing the final amount to be received, and the goods sent on consignment account for the purpose of closing the goods sent on consignment account. Now in the books of the consignee, there is only one account required, that is consignor's account. And this is for the purpose of knowing the final amount to be paid to the consignor. So the consignee's account will be showing the final amount to be received from the consignee, and the consignor's account shows the final amount to be paid to the consignor. Okay, so 3 accounts in the books of consignor: consignment account, consignee's account, and goods sent on consignment account. Then in the books of consignee, only one account is required, and that is consignor's account. So this is consignment account, that is the various journal entries, but you know the various journal entries required in the books of consignor and also consignee. Now all these entries will be posted to various accounts, that's all. Okay, in consignment account, the amount which will be shown are, or on the debit side, the various amounts are goods sent on consignment, then cash, that is expenses of consignor, consignee, that is expenses of consignee, then consignee, that is commission of consignee. And on the credit side, there will be by consignee, that is the amount of sales, then the balancing figure, that is either profit or loss. In case it is profit, then to profit and loss account, and in case it is loss, then by profit and loss account. So this is consignment account, that is consignment account will be debited with goods sent on consignment, then cash, that is expenses of consignor, consignee, that is expenses of consignee, then again consignee, that is commission of consignee, and it will be credited with consignee, that is the amount of sales. Then the balancing figure will be either profit or loss. Then the second account is consignee's account. Okay, in consignee's account, or the consignee's account will be debited with the amount of sales, that is to consignment. Then it will be credited with by cash, bank or bills receivable, that is advance. Then by consignment, that is expenses of consignee. By consignment, that is commission due to the consignee. Then cash, bank or bills receivable, that is the amount of final settlement or the balancing figure. Okay, so this is consignee's account. Then the third account was goods sent on consignment account, that is when the goods are sent by consignment and for the purpose of closing to trading. So that's all. In case of goods sent on consignment, only two transactions, that is when the goods are sent and then when the goods are sent on consignment account is closed. Okay, by consignment to trading account. Then in the books of consignee, one account is required, that is consignor's account. Okay, the consignor's account will be debited with to cash, bank or bills receivable, that is advance. Then to cash or bank, expenses of consignee. Then commission, that is commission of consignee. Then by cash, bank or debtors, that is the amount of sales. Then the balancing figure, cash, bank or bills receivable, that is the final amount to be remitted to the consignor. That is, in case of consignor's account, all these amount, that is the amount appearing on debit side of consignor's account, it will be appearing on the credit side of consignee's account. Okay. Now the amount appearing on the credit side of consignor's account, that will be appearing on the debit side of consignee's account, and the final balance of consignor's account and consignee's account should be one and the same. That is the amount to be paid by the consignee, it should be the same amount as the amount to be received by the consignor. So the consignee's account balance and the consignor's account balance will be one and the same. So these are the journal entries and the ledger accounts required in case of consignment, and we are talking about the cost price method. Okay, thank you.